And we have with us Kathy Akers this morning of Fathom Realty. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm good, and you know, we got the memo too. Fred is wearing a red shirt, but it shows up pink. So I said, okay, we got the memo. We got the memo again.
Yes, we did.
But anyway, Kathy has got something interesting this morning. She's going to talk to us about the 10 Commandments. But it is the 10 Commandments of real estate.
That's right. We're going to talk about, I've got 10 Commandments for buying a home and 10 for selling a home. So these are what we call thou shall nots.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start on the buying side. And these have been around a while. One of our local mortgage officers was the first one to hand this out to me, and I've seen them online. So if you don't recognize it, or if you want to pick them up, you can just Google the ones for buying a home online. But let's start with thou shalt not change jobs, become self-employed, or quit your job while buying a home.
Right, because you do have to show longevity, correct?
That's right. They want to have a couple of established paychecks to show what your income is actually going to be. Okay? So, you know, that's one of those things.
What's a good amount of time, Kathy, for you to have a job?
Well, you know, you're going to want to have an established job where you can at least start
a year.
A year. But if you're changing jobs, let's say you're moving up in a company, that kind of thing, they're going to want at least 2, maybe 3 months of pay stubs to show your new pay
Right.
rate. Or if it's the same job, let's say you're, for example, you're a nurse in Greenville, you move to Nash County, and they want to, so it's the same position, but at a different facility. So a couple of months of pay stubs is what they're looking for to get that.
Okay.
Plus, they're going to also look at that. But as a self-employed person, they're going to want at least 2 years of tax returns showing where you're self-employed, so they can establish your pay rate and that kind of thing.
Sure.
Thou shalt not buy a car, truck, or van, or you may be living in it.
Oh, that's funny.
So think about that, because that also interrupts your income.
That's right.
More debts, that kind of thing. Thou shalt not use charge cards excessively or let your accounts fall behind. Because remember,
do that anyway.
That's right.
Whether we're buying a home or not.
That's right. But this also affects your credit score, so remember that. Thou shalt not spend money you have set aside for your closing, because you want to make sure you have all the income that they verified sitting there waiting to pay your closing cost at the end. Because when you get to the end and you don't have those funds, you're not going to be able to buy that home.
Right.
Thou shalt not omit debts or liabilities from your loan application. They're going to know about them.
They're going to find out.
They're going to find out.
Absolutely.
So do not buy furniture. That falls in the same line as that car.
Wait till you get your house.
That's right. Because you're originating new loans, and that changes your debt to income ratio.
Right.
Do not originate any inquiries into your credit, because that'll also lower your credit score. Thou shalt not make large deposits without first checking with your loan officer. They're going to want to know where those funds are coming from. The RESPA Act and that kind of thing really is trying to make sure that there's no fraudulent lending. So if you have somebody that's giving you, let's say you have a favorite grandmother that said, "Oh, you're buying a house. Here's $10,000." That's a lot of money to get and deposit into your account.
Yes.
So they want to know that it is a gift and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of documentation that's going to go along with that. So think about that before you do that. Talk to your loan officer just to make sure that everything's in line.
Right.
Thou shalt not change bank accounts. They want to make sure that the money's still in the accounts that they show that you have it in.
Absolutely.
And thou shalt not co-sign for a loan for anyone. So parents, if you're downsizing, buying another home, don't co-sign for any of your children, because that's going to add to your credit score, your debt to income ratio.
That's right.
So those are some of the things. A lot of it is things we've talked about before. It's common sense, but for somebody that's, first-time home buyer, maybe they don't realize some of these things. But, they're good things to think about. Anything that will affect your income, anything that will affect your credit score. Those are things that you don't want to do during that process, especially if you're already under contract on a home. I know that you're excited about getting into that new home, that you want to go out and start getting the new bedroom sets, those kinds of things. Please wait till after you close.
Absolutely.
It's okay. It's okay to throw down a blow-up mattress for a week or two until you get things squared away, and then you can go out and look at those items. Now, the thou shall nots for sellers, I had not seen before until recently, and I'm going to give credit to a real estate agent out of Scottsdale, Arizona. I do a lot of reading of blogs, news articles, that kind of thing, and this is where I get a lot of my information. But this is the first time I've seen the thou shall nots for sellers. And it's things that he says he wants you to make sure that your house smiles when somebody comes in, because a house that smiles is going to sell for more. Okay? So let's look at these. Do not leave toilet seats up. Please.
Yes.
Please
do not.
Please do not. Even though the toilet's clean, it just makes a better presentation when somebody walks into the bathroom. If they've got children with them, I think about, kids often play in water. So, that also, you're going to have little water prints everywhere. Somebody's done that. Do not leave a dirty house. Naturally. So when you get up in the morning, make sure that there's any dishes, clothes. Yes. Go ahead and take care of those the night before, or your breakfast dishes. Go ahead and put them in the dishwasher, or go ahead and quickly wash them and put them back in the cabinet. Pick up clothes, dust, vacuum. Those are the things that you want to make sure you're doing on a routine basis, so that when you walk out the door that morning, that your house is ready to be shown, because you never know that day if somebody's going to call to show your house.
That's right.
So don't think, I've got a few minutes to run back later at lunch to straighten up, that kind of thing. That's when things always go awry.
Well, I would say if your house is on the market for sale, be ready at all times.
That's right.
Yes, be prepared.
Let's talk about, that junk that we have in that one room, and we've got it over in the corner.
Oh, yes.
Well, somebody's coming, we lock that bedroom door. Don't do that, guys.
They want to see all the rooms.
They want to see all the rooms. They're going to wonder what's wrong with that room.
Right.
So don't do that. If you've got a garage, fine. Yes, we know you're packing up to leave. You've got to store. But maybe going ahead and renting a storage unit for a month or two. That way you've got that extra junk, if that's what it is.
Yeah, if you have a lot of excess.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and if it's something you're not going to use in the next place, go ahead and look at donating or selling, whatever your means is. But, let's not just put it in a room and lock that door. So think about that. Do not forget to mow your lawn and cut down the weeds. Now, I know right now it's kind of wet out there to get out there and do that. So, but those are some of the things to think about, is, making sure that your yard is also presentable, because as I've talked about before, your first showing is online. Your second showing is when they drive by the house. And they're going to drive by before they call that agent to look at it.
Well, if it looks that bad, Kathy, if the yard looks that bad, they may not even want to see inside the house.
That's right. They're going to wonder, okay, if the
yard's like this.
Yeah, if the yard's not well maintained, how well maintained is the house?
And it may not make you excited about looking at the house if you
Right.
see,
That's
the
right.
yard looking like that.
So, people understand right now, with a lot of rain, that it's hard
Yes.
to get out there and do that. So that's okay. But for the most part, maintaining your yard as well. Don't forget to remove personal items off bathroom counters. And one of these especially, they talk about your razors and deodorants, all of those things that kind of clutter your
Yes.
sink, the counters and that kind of thing. Find a place, whether it's a drawer, a cabinet, something like that, to put those in. Medicines, let's talk about that. Medicines, you want to make sure they're secured.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Because, as an agent, and I've said this before, if I'm walking with a couple and they have somebody else with them, I'm going to be just talking to you
Right.
about this feature. Somebody else has walked on into the bathroom
right.
or another area. If you've got medicine setting on a counter, that's just putting it out there for it to be taken.
Absolutely.
And, we don't, secure your medications, even if it's just putting it in a cabinet or in a container in a cabinet, because then when they open the cabinet, they're not
Yes.
seeing it set out.
Well, they may have a child with them.
That's right.
They may
So-
have a child and
So
that kind of thing. So we
that-
don't want that to happen.
And with that being said, that also goes for your kitchen counters as well.
Yes.
Let's make it so that it looks, not cluttered, that they can see that they have room to do things, okay? Do not forget to remove or hide all pet toys and food dishes and bags of pet food. Now, I have to say, my kids have pets. My husband and I do not, but I do have the pet beds and the pet toys for when
Right.
when they visit. And so, and now of course my house isn't on the market right now, but that's one of those things. I'm not going to say hide everything, but let's say you do have a dog bed. Now, if sometimes the odors can be offensive, and I'm not saying anything against dogs, but for somebody that's not that doesn't have a dog, or how about those that are allergic to pets, you may want to remove them out of the house, or put them in a closet out of the way.
Right.
Because and toys, and just as with your children, you want to pick those up. Have a container that you go by
Right.
and here's this, I dropped it in that. And I do have a couple of baskets here and there for the toys when they're gone, so they're picked up and out of the way.
And yes, people that don't have pets, it can be offensive. We're so used to it. If we have pets, it's second nature to us. But people that don't have pets for a reason.
Right.
They probably don't like that. So Kathy's right. I went into a horse stall. A friend of mine was taking her child was taking horse lessons this week, and I went over there to see her ride. I went into the horse stall. I don't have horses. Well, many people have horses, and it's just second nature. But I went in there, and I do like animals. But I said, "Oh my gosh!" And they were laughing. They said, "We can tell you're not a horse person." So that's
right.
just how it is. Everybody's
right.
not a dog or cat or whatever lover like you are. So yes.
Right. So also to remember to make arrangements with your pet, rather than maybe just leaving them in a cage.
Yes.
To remove them during the showings. Also, making sure you're cleaning up if your dog uses the backyard.
Right.
Clean that up, because people are going to actually go into the backyard and that kind of thing. So, don't leave them in a cage or a locked room or roaming the backyard. Sometimes I know that we have to. It's not always feasible to take them somewhere. But think about that to facilitate a showing. Do not avoid replacing old, rusty, scratched front door knobs. Think about that, guys, or
Yes.
handles.
It doesn't take a lot to do that.
No, it doesn't. And
A lot of effort.
If you have a little bit of mechanical know-how,
Right.
you can go to your favorite home store, pick them up and replace them. Spending a little bit now helps you in the long run.
That's
you know,
right.
so think about that. You want your house to smile when somebody comes in.
Right.
Do not be lazy and remove non-working vehicles. Yeah, I know. We see that a lot
Yes.
here and there. But if you have a non-working vehicle, if it's in the garage, it's fine. But don't leave it out on the out in the
Right.
yard. You know, especially in the
Absolutely.
grass. You know, think about that. Those kinds of things. So go ahead and if you're getting rid of it, go ahead and take care of that. Or, you know, see if there's someplace else that you can leave it for a while,
Sure.
for right now. Do not be cheap and avoid cleaning or replacing the carpets that have huge stains. Whether they're pet stains, stains from kids, you know, just normal wear. You know, our traffic patterns show all the time in our carpets. So look at those. You know, some people offer an allowance at the end, but the buyer's already taking that off the top of your value, even though you're going to reimburse them at closing. And think about this: some of the buyers, the loan officers may not allow them to take a credit at closing for the replacement of the carpet. So that's one of those things. Go ahead and look at maybe doing it now.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
taking care of it. Do not forget to take out extra furniture. You know, furniture covering every available space or wall in your home. Remove as much as you can to a storage area or garage. It helps make your home look larger.
You want it, yeah, and you want it decorated and nice. You don't want a chair sitting here that shouldn't really be there. And
That's
a couple of,
you know, that's been functional for you and your family.
Yes.
But if you want them to be able to walk through, if the room seems so crowded, they're going to wonder if their furniture is going to fit in there. You
Right.
want them to be able to see themselves in there. And don't leave excess or broken, worn out garden furniture out on the front porch or in the backyard. You know, replace those cushions. You know, you're going
Yes.
to take them with you, so that'll be your nice bright spot when you get to your new home. So think about those. But just remember, you want to make your home smile.
Absolutely.
And so, anything?
Wow. That's just a lot of
That's a
food
lot.
for thought.
It is.
Which is, a lot of that are things that we just don't think about.
It is.
So, Kathy, thank you for bringing that out. I just think that's great. I think the buyer and the seller tips were really, really good.
Well,
So if you're
my
thinking
pleasure.
about it, yeah, absolutely. If you were thinking about it, I hope she really helped you a lot this morning, because it just really put some ideas in my head that I hadn't really thought about. Some of it's common sense. Some of it are things that we just don't think about. So,
Very true.
yes. So, thank you so much, Kathy. Now, how do we get in touch with you?
If you want to give me a call, it's 252-266-4038.
Say that again.
252-266-4038.
Call Kathy. If you want to sell your house, if you want to buy a home, she can help you with both. Right, Kathy?
That's right. Have a great week.
Okay. Thank you, and we'll be right back.